Hello everyone. Today we're back with more Kyle is Famous, because it's so much fun. And no, I'm not gonna put Kyle on screen today, because the joke is getting kinda old. Done it twice now. It was funny the first time, and laughed the second time. Anyway, so Kyle wakes up, he's famous, of course we can skip all that nonsense. And I know I did this ending before, or I went down this path before, but I forgot to call the police. We're just gonna do everything exactly the same. Hallway. Gonna remember to eat. Normal food that a person might eat on a normal day. Let's see, what can we do out here? Gabby, what are your true thoughts about Rachel May? Oh, Rachel, she's a wonderful woman. Her generous acts have inspired more good work than that. Gabby trailed off, not meeting Kyle's eyes. After several uncomfortable minutes of silence, Kyle turned around and left. Kyle walked into the middle of the road and took a long, pondering look around him. Well, we're gonna go to work. Approach Rachel, answer politely, shake hands, more, start, introduce Rachel, more, dive right in. Here we go. Ever eaten, hey Rachel, have you ever eaten a raw egg whole? Like shell and all? I have, like a lot. It's really bad though, so sometimes I spit it back up. Then there's silence. But actually it gets easier the more you do it. So don't start, I say. I purposely ran over a puppy. It's a joke. Am I a mother? Well, Kyle, I think you might be a better source of answering that question than I am. But do you think I'm a mother? I think you inspire youth to pursue STEM fields. Are you guilty? Guilty of what, dear Kyle? Guilty of your crimes. Okay. Very intense music. Hello, police. I believe I have found a criminal. Rachel began to run towards the exit. On her way, she swatted Kyle's phone out of his hand. Kyle stuck out his leg. Rachel stumbled and crashed to the floor. But in a moment, she was on her feet. She drew a blunt weapon seemingly out of thin air and started to swing at Kyle. Before Kyle had a chance to react, a figure burst through the roof and blocked Rachel's attack. It was a middle-aged woman in a bug-shaped mask. She was brandishing a bug-shaped stick. It's Gabby. The woman began to fight with Rachel, flicking her weapon back and forth with surprising speed. Rachel tried to fight back, but it was obvious she was no match for the interceptor. With one quick move, the bug vigilante drew her foot high above her head and drove it straight into Rachel's hand. The weapon clattered to the floor. Rachel attempted to run again, but was met with a stick to her legs? I read that right. She fell at the feet of a police officer just arriving from Kyle's call. Rachel was charged with 7 cases of grand larceny. After her first month in jail, Rachel started a reality TV show filmed in her prison cell about prison cooking. The show gained immense popularity, and somehow the public began to to love Rachel all the more. Kyle made guest appearance on Rachel's show many times. The identity of the bug vigilante was never known. It's Gabby, man. Come on. She remained a mysterious but local part of local law enforcement. Rachel started a new show. Alright. Well, let's exit the bed. Open the closet. We're gonna do something interesting today. Getting the slimy garments to stay proved difficult, so Kyle opted to stick them to his body with hot glue. Oh man, that's gotta hurt. Gonna do everything weird today. Gonna eat bugs. We're going to eat the fridge. Somehow miraculously he wrapped his mouth around the device as he started to swallow. In one slow, horrible movement, the fridge slid down Kyle's throat. After many gurgles, pops, and snaps, Kyle felt relatively sure the fridge would not come back out. Consume Gabby. Kyle unhinged his jaw and swallowed Gabby whole. Job done, Kyle returned to the middle of the street. The gossip is gone. Resources. Oh, that's right. Leave him for another time. Alright, let's get through all this. Introduce Rachel. Kyle vomited all of the horrible things he had eaten earlier onto the floor. Rachel looked at Kyle concerned, gave a couple coughs, and decided to play it cool and keep the show running. Kyle stopped, then vomited again, then continued with a shaky voice. Tonight I have the pleasure of interviewing Rachel May, who needs no more introduction. I'm glad to be here. Well, I'm sure we have lots to discuss. I'm very ready. I see it never bothered to prepare any notes for the interview. Play dead. That's what skunks do, right? What are you up to? Kyle did not respond and hoped nobody would ask questions. Kyle, why are you pretending to be dead? I can see you breathing. Kyle held his breath. The producer whispered to Rachel, give him a couple slaps across the face and see if he wakes up. Rachel slapped Kyle continuously, trying to get him to stop play acting. Other members of the crew stepped into the frame and started to slap Kyle as well. Soon Kyle was lost in the amassment of people around him, all slapping his face with both hands. The slapping went on for many hours. Kyle did not wake up. Eventually, Kyle did not need to pretend to be unconscious. Okay. Let's prepare. Notes. Are you a mother? Just gonna go real here. Alright, let's go eat some food. I feel like we have more time this time than we usually do. We're gonna steal Techno Jim. Quickly, before the attendant could acknowledge him, Kyle grabbed Techno Jim by the shoulders. Finding that Techno Jim's cardboard feet were bolted to the ground, Kyle started to pull upwards forcefully. After several tugs, Techno Jim broke free, leaving one foot and one leg behind. Kyle glanced at the attendant, who was staring bewildered, and ran outside. Continue with the day. Kyle walked out in the middle of the road, took a long pondering look around him. What do we do with Techno Jim? We definitely have way more time than usual. What did we do wrong? Is there something else I could do here? Let's take change. I wonder what we could do with the change. Oops. Rich's smile quickly turned to shock as she realized Kyle had not put on clothes that day. Kyle waved and smiled broadly. Rachel uncomfortably averted her eyes. Kyle started making his rounds around the room, greeting each crew member, none of whom looked at him directly. Why? Because I'm naked. As it became apparent that Kyle had no intention of leaving, Rachel made some excuses and exited the set. One by one, the crew followed suit. Kyle was left all alone by being a nudist. What do we do interesting today? Oh, let's put on a suit. Let's sit at the desk, check the drawer, take some change, write notes. Are you a mother? Diet tips, funniest story, guilty pleasure. Hallway. You know what, there were more options than normal. Ooh, I almost forgot to eat. Uh-oh. I did that wrong. Alright. Almost forgot to interview Techno Jim instead. Kyle roughly shoved Rachel out of her seat and placed Techno Jim in her seat, in her stead. Hello, Techno Jim. I'm going to interview you today. Kyle grabbed Techno Jim's hand and tried to shake it, but instead it tore off the cardboard frame. Kyle's producer, sensing viral media, pulled the bewildered Rachel out of the frame and mentioned to the crew to go live. Cameramen moved, lights flashed, and suddenly the studio was on air. Hi, I'm Kyle, said Kyle, and tonight I'm going to interview a very special guest. He pointed at Techno Jim using the dismembered arm. Techno Jim started to smoke from the heat of the lights. Would you like to introduce yourself? Knowing Jim would probably not speak, Kyle took it upon himself to be his voice as well.
Hi, Kyle. My name is Rachel May, and I'm a very special guest.
Oh, Rachel, you look way too thin and absolutely terrible. You should feel ugly. Oh.
Wow, Kyle. I sure wish I could look like you.
Techno Jim burst into flames. Instantaneously, the sprinkler system initiated curtains of water poured down from the rafters. Within seconds, the production equipment was doused with water, and the set was soon burst with electrical fire. Kyle's crew abandoned their post as cameramen and sound mixers to try to put out the fires. As the crew scrambled around, the cameras continued to run. Kyle sat motionless, staring forward. Eventually, the fires were all put out. Kyle's producers shut off the broadcast, leaving Kyle's vacant stare as the final frame. Kyle's ratings skyrocketed. Techno Jim became a staple on the show, often ending up destroyed by the end of each episode. Although Rachel did not come back on the show, her cardboard portrayal did. Rachel was very popular. Alright, we're getting somewhere. Anyway, I think that's all the time we have for today. As always, though, there will be a link in the description if you want to check out this game for yourself. And have a great whatever time it is for you. And thank you so much for watching.